I'm Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. From the first Holy Mass in Syria after the ousting of President Bashar al-Assad to the rising number of medically assisted deaths under MAID in Canada, we have many stories to cover. We begin by remembering Kevin Andrews, a stalwart figure in Australian politics who passed away at the age of 69. A devout Catholic and former minister for the Liberal Party, Andrews was deeply guided by his faith and convictions. This inspired him to introduce a bill in 1996 to repeal the world's first assisted dying law, which had been enacted by the Northern Territory Parliament. He is survived by his wife and 5 children. Former Australian Minister for the Liberal Party and devout Catholic Kevin Andrews passed away at the age of 69 after battling cancer. Andrews served in the House of Representatives from 1991 to 2022, representing the Victorian seat of Menzies. Known for his conservative views and strong Catholic faith, he introduced a bill in 1996 to repeal the world's first assisted dying scheme enacted by the Northern Territory Parliament. Melbourne Archbishop Peter Comensoli expressed his sorrow, emphasizing 3 defining qualities of Andrews' life: his deep and remarkable faith, his wholehearted commitment to marriage and family, and his dedicated public service. According to The Guardian, Andrews was a strong opponent of abortion, same-sex marriage, and stem cell research. Former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott praised Andrews for his unwavering commitment to the sanctity of human life. Abbott also highlighted Andrews' advocacy for palliative care services, which aim to ensure that no one suffers severe pain at the end of life. He further described Andrews as a rare intellectual presence in politics, noting his authorship of 4 well-regarded books. One of these, Maybe I Do, explored the concept of modern marriage and was partly a tribute to his wife Margie, whom he deeply loved. Canada released its 5th annual report on medical assistance in dying. Under MAID, one of the most controversial medically assisted death programs globally, 15,343 people received medical assistance in dying in 2023 alone. What was initially promoted as a last resort option in very specific cases is now proliferating at an unprecedented rate. Additionally, assisted death for those suffering from mental illness in Canada could soon become a reality. The 5th annual report on medical assistance in dying in Canada has revealed that 15,343 people received medical assistance in dying in 2023, which accounted for 4.7% of total deaths. This represented a 15.8% increase from 2022. However, the growth has slowed compared to previous years, which had an average growth rate of approximately 31%. Cancer was cited as the most frequently reported underlying medical condition. Euthanasia was legalized in Canada in 2016. Medical assistance in dying allows someone who is found to be eligible to receive assistance from a medical practitioner to end their life. If eligible, applicants received assistance via either track 1 or 2 based on whether or not death was reasonably foreseeable. In Canada, consenting adults can request medical assistance in dying from a healthcare provider if they have a serious and irredeemable medical condition. Assisted death for those suffering from mental illness is expected to be permitted by 2027. Canada is among the few countries that have introduced assisted dying laws in the past decade besides Austria, Australia, and Spain. In the United Kingdom, a majority of MPs voted recently in favor of a bill that would enable terminally ill, mentally competent individuals with less than 6 months to live to choose physician-assisted death. The bill is set to pass through a scrutiny process lasting up to 6 months and could be altered or even voted down. In the United States, a Catholic pro-life education organization has released a list of charities for pro-life donors to consider carefully before contributing. Titled Charity Watch List, the document includes over 150 tax-exempt nonprofits categorized based on their adherence to life-affirming values or involvement in practices contrary to pro-life principles. The American Life League, which describes itself as the oldest grassroots Catholic pro-life education organization in the United States, has issued a caution to donors about charities that may support abortion. In a statement, the organization urged like-minded donors to carefully investigate nonprofits before making charitable contributions. The organization has developed a charity watch list which evaluates charities using a spotlight system with green, yellow, and red ratings. The system helps donors determine whether to go ahead and support a non-profit without hesitation, proceed with caution after understanding potential risks, or stop support for organizations endorsing abortion. Katie Brown, the national director of the American Life League, stated that the charity watch list is designed to help pro-life donors fully understand how their contributions are being used. She emphasized that people can easily be moved by images of sick children or stories of disabled veterans, often without realizing that the charity they are supporting might be funding programs that promote abortion or support anti-life agendas. The statement highlighted that the American Heart Association, one of the most well-known charities in the country, no longer has a green rating. While heart disease remains the number one killer in the United States, the American Heart Association's partnership with Planned Parenthood, deemed the number one killer of preborn children, has earned it a negative red rating on the charity watch list. The watch list currently profiles over 150 tax-exempt nonprofits, assessing their adherence to life-affirming values or involvement in anti-life practices. The American Life League has pledged to expand the list and invites donors to submit nonprofits for review. On Sunday, Christians in Syria attended Holy Mass for the first time since the fall of President Bashar al-Assad. Athanasius Fahid, the Greek Orthodox Metropolitan of Latakia and its dependencies, officiated the Mass and later expressed concerns about the future of religious freedom under the new Islamist leadership.
Since the ousting of the Bashar al-Assad regime by armed rebels on December 8 and amid the fear and chaos that ensued, Christians in Syria attended Holy Mass on December 15th. Although the new Islamist leaders have promised protection for religious minorities, Syrian Christians are apprehensive. Athanasius Fahid, the Greek Orthodox Metropolitan of Latakia and its dependencies, celebrated Holy Mass on Sunday in a church filled to capacity. He said to Reuters, quote, "As for the past era, the era of Assad, we had complete and reasonable religious freedom. We do not know what the future holds after the victory of the armed uprising in Syria or what the ruling system will look like. However, I hope that these freedoms will continue to preserve our political and religious liberties, ensuring full freedom for all people." End quote. Syria is home also to other religious minorities, including Armenians, Kurds, and Shiite Muslims. Reportedly, thousands of Shiite Muslims have fled Syria, fearing persecution. Meanwhile, schools reopened all across Syria on Sunday, December 15th. Before the Syrian civil war in 2011, Christians made up about 10% of the country's population. However, in recent times, due to war, severe persecution, displacement, and immigration, Christians now amount to less than 2%, falling to just 300 to 500,000 in 2022. The country's largest Christian denomination is the Greek Orthodox Church of Antioch, followed by the Maronite Church and the Assyrian Church of the East, with a small minority of Protestants.
Tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. Filipinos at home and abroad have begun celebrating Simbang Gabi, a 600-year-old 9-day novena with pre-dawn masses. This cherished tradition symbolizes the faithful prayerfully awaiting, alongside the Blessed Virgin Mary, the arrival of Jesus. From Noche de las Velitas, Night of the Little Candles in Colombia, to Advent calendars in Germany, every country has its own beloved Christmas traditions. In the Philippines, where nearly 80% of the population identifies as Roman Catholic, there is a unique and cherished Christmas tradition. Filipino Catholics have been celebrating a Christmas novena for the past 600 years. Known as Simbang Gabi, translated as Night Mass, this novena is a series of 9 masses traditionally held in the pre-dawn hours each day from December 16th to December 24th. This practice symbolically represents accompanying Mary in prayer during the 9 months of her pregnancy. In earlier times, as many Filipinos relied on fishing and farming for their livelihood, jobs that began early in the morning, these novena masses were scheduled before the day's work. Afterward, the community would gather for a meal featuring special rice delicacies. As lifestyles evolved, the timing of the masses became more flexible and communal meals were replaced by food sold at kiosks. Nevertheless, the essence of the tradition has endured. To this day, Filipinos fill churches for 9 consecutive days leading up to Christmas to prayerfully prepare for the arrival of Jesus. This year's Simbang Gabi began peacefully in the Philippines, according to reports from the Philippine National Police. Authorities confirmed that no untoward incidents were reported on the first day and expressed optimism that the celebrations would continue peacefully. Christmas is not only a celebration of Christ's incarnation, but also a call for Christians to embody the spirit of charity. In Pristina, the capital of Kosovo, thousands participated in a marathon to raise funds for charity. Known as Run Santa Claus, this event, which began 9 years ago, has become the city's largest holiday gathering. Participants, including a Siberian Husky that completed the entire marathon, left with medals and a profound sense of fulfillment. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.